So you're thinking of moving to Colorado Springs area and you're wondering about school districts. If you have children, if you have family and that's a consideration for you, this video is for you if you're thinking of looking on the south side of towns. We're going to look at 3 different school districts, School District 2, 3, and 12 that all adjoin each other. They're all south of Platte Avenue on the south end of Colorado Springs. We're going to compare and contrast them a little bit. I'm going to do a high-level view of all of the 3 of them, and then we'll go a little more detailed pros and cons of each and some neighborhood nuances for each of them. So it's helpful to have information and comparison because everyone has different goals and priorities, and you don't know what you don't know. So let's go check out all 3. I connect with people just like you every day to help them discover where to live and invest in real estate and sell property for top dollar when the time is just right. My name is Leif Jacobson. I'm an ex-cop turned realtor, also known as Safe Leif. If you're new to this channel, subscribe so you're first to learn about all things Colorado real estate. I love being a resource for you. My contact information is below and I'm super excited to hear from you. So reach out by text, call, or email after this video. I would love to get in touch. And feel free to book a calendar appointment as well. I can reach out to you, whatever works best for you. We are covering 3 school districts on the south side of Colorado Springs today, 2, 3, and 12. We're gonna contrast them and compare them. Let's get to it right now. One thing that's really important to note is that Colorado Springs is a school choice city, meaning that you don't have to live within the district or near a school in order to attend. A lot of cities, you don't have the freedom of going to any school that you want. You have to have an address or a zip code and be able to prove that you're a resident of a certain district or a certain community in order to go to certain schools. Colorado Springs is not that way. So there's lots of freedom is the good news to go to whatever school you want. The not so good news with that, or an opposing con, is that lots of people come from outside school districts to go to certain districts because they want their kids to be in a certain school for a certain program or have certain resources. So some districts can be a little crowded, and that's, I think, partly why many cities restrict attendance to people who live within the district. But regardless, in Colorado Springs, you can live in one district and get your kids to school in another district, but you do need to consider transportation because most schools you'd have to drive yourself. If you're going outside or a distance from where you live into another district, you're probably going to have to drive your kids to and from school every day. But it's not necessarily true. Sometimes there's buses and regional buses that can go outside of the district a little bit and grab your kids, but that's just something to weigh. But most cities, it's not even an option to do that, so Colorado Springs offers some flexibility in that realm. So let's go over the first school district, which is school district number 2, which is Harrison School District. It's a smaller school district on the south side of the Springs, just south of Platte Avenue. It has a large military population because it's not far from Fort Carson. We have 5 military bases in Colorado Springs, and these school districts are all near, many of them, on the south side of the Springs. So there's Fort Carson, there's Fort Peterson, and so there's large military populations there, of course, because just the proximity, the raw proximity to the military installations down there. There's 3 charter schools options, and all 3 are driving distance for families in the area, as far as District 2 and Harrison. There are a little lower test scores on the public school side. There are 4 schools that are K through 8. Neighborhoods that are great are Stratmore Hills, Soaring Eagles, and Spring Creek. The next one we're going to cover is District 3, which is called Widefield. Also on the south side of town, it adjoins the other side of District 2. It's a small district on the east side of Colorado Springs, on the southeast side. It's got a lot of heart, it's got a lot of spirit. Large military population again, as well as all of these are right down by the military institutions. It's a great trade school program, or has a great trade school program for high school students. Intentionality with schools have a lot of focus like project-based learning or computer sciences, so students can attend school wherever, kind of in an area of interest that's particular to them. They're lower than average test scores across the district, so kind of statewide or national-wide, a little bit lower on the average test scores. Great neighborhoods right down there are Barnstormers Landing, Windmill Mesa, and Morrison Ranch. The last district, number 12, is called Cheyenne Mountain, which is a fabulous area right at the base of the Rocky Mountains. It's District 12, Cheyenne Mountain. It's a smaller district with only 9 schools. It's nationally ranked with top of the 5 school districts for test scores in the nation. So very high academic level, very high demographic as well, and real estate prices are higher. We'll talk about that a little bit. It's got a community feel with only a few schools, super tight community flavor, 27 AP classes offered at the high school, and neighborhoods. Basically, there's only one neighborhood really in this area, and that's called the Broadmoor, where the Broadmoor Resort is. We'll talk about that as well. So that's kind of a overview, broad view. Let's get down into the nuances of each district. And here we go. District 2 is the first one we'll dive into a little more closely here. We'll see some pros and cons and then talk about the neighborhoods that are popular there. It's got a very diverse student population as far as race and ethnicity. 4 schools are K-8, which is benefit for families with multiple kids that can go all the way through the levels of school. There's 3 charter school systems to choose from. The public schools near, depending on what you're looking for as far as proximity to the public schools. Cons are the high school graduation rate is 70%, so a little lower on the high school graduation rate. Test scores are below state average, so a little bit lower on the rates there as far as District 2. Families come and go quite often, and there's kind of a transient population because of the military population, of course, like we talked about, right next to the military bases. So there's lots of transition in and out just because military families are PCSing all the time, which makes sense. It's not their fault. It just is what it is. The best neighborhoods down there are Stratmore Hills, Spring Creek, and Soaring Eagles. So Stratmore Hills Elementary School, Fox Meadow Middle School, and Harrison High School are schools right in the Stratmore Hills neighborhood. It's a large military area with lots of shopping, taller trees, mature landscaping, pretty affordable housing in this area, as it's kind of on the south side of town. The further south you go, the more affordable real estate becomes. Lots of wildlife in the area that's located right up against the mountains because it's right at the base of the Rocky Mountains. Spring Creek schools are Mountain Vista Community School, Sierra High School. Great houses on smaller lots, kind of older schoolhouses a little bit. Several parks throughout the community. It's a very walkable neighborhood. Construction in the early 2000s with growing and maturing landscape and trees. So, older is relative. They're not the last few years, but it's also not a 70-year-old neighborhood. Soaring Eagles. Schools in Soaring Eagles are Soaring Eagles Community, Panorama Middle School, and Sierra High School as well. Medium to large houses and quiet neighborhoods. It's a really neat ambiance down in that area. Lots of military families and college students live in the homes that attend Colorado College, and some other resources on the south end of town as far as college level and community college. Perfectly located on the south side of the Springs, not too far from the airport and the Powers Corridor, and just south of downtown. So good resources there. Next district we'll cover is District 3. Some pros of District 3, it has a super rich history in the area. It's growing. Some new schools are being built and refurbished periodically. 18 schools that offer specializations in project-based learning, computer sciences, and even a high school for trades, for people who just want to learn a trade and have a focus on that. That'd be way better for me. I didn't like all the general studies. I'm all about studying what I'm directly interested in. Some cons are average reading and test scores and lower math scores as far as Colorado averages in the district. The website is super cumbersome. To find your way through the website is not very helpful, honestly, in District 3. So good luck with that a little bit. It's a large area of land covering the district, so it may not be a walkable or commute to school. Everything's pretty spread out in general, and that is illustrated by the neighborhoods that we'll cover. So Lorson Ranch is a newer community in the south side of Colorado Springs, kind of the southeast corner of Colorado Springs. It's minutes from the military bases. There's lots of military families again in those schools. It's a close-knit community on the outskirts of town a little more rural location. Windmill Mesa schools are French Elementary, Sproul Junior High, and Widefield High School. It's a family-friendly community, ideal for first-time home buyers. It's super affordable real estate and nice, kind of simple, smaller 3-4 bedroom homes in this area that are great for families. There's a great park in the neighborhood, and you're really close to downtown Colorado Springs and very close to Colorado Springs Airport, which is fabulous to fly out of because, man, if you've ever been to Denver International Airport, you can have thousands of people in line for security. I think I love flying out of Colorado Springs Airport. Most people I've seen in security there is about 12. So you're minutes on the plane and you don't have to get there hours beforehand. It's a fabulous experience flying out of Colorado Springs Airport. There's a little pitch for the airport. Barnstormers Landing is another neighborhood down there. French Elementary School, Sproul Junior High, and Whitefield High School as well. So similar schools that have access to there. It's an 80-acre neighborhood with homes 10 to 20 years old. So kind of, early 2000s, right in there is when that kind of sprouted up. There's great local parks that are scattered throughout the southeast. The YMCA is there with pools and workout facilities and activities for members, for your family as well. So it's on the northernmost side of the school district. The last school district we'll cover in this comparison of 3 is District 12, which is Cheyenne Mountain. 90% of graduates go to 2 or 4-year universities. It's a very high level of education and academics, which they pride themselves on. Top 5 school districts in all of Colorado. I think I said nation earlier, I meant Colorado. It's in the top 5 school districts within Colorado. So there's a little correction. 8 schools total. Each school can get the attention it needs because it's in a smaller district. So it's got that boutique feel. 27 advanced placement courses offered at the high school. So again, very high level there as far as the resources and programs available. Not a lot of variety in technical job offerings. There's lower density rates among the student population. Can be good or bad depending on what you're looking for. Another perceived con could be a small area, hard to move into. It must be open to choicing in. It's also a very expensive area, and we'll get into that right now as we talk about the neighborhood. The main neighborhood, kind of the purveying neighborhood in this area, is the Broadmoor. The Broadmoor Resort has housed many or hosted many American presidents. A very high-end golf course. It's a super high-end neighborhood. Average home price in the Broadmoor is just over $1.1 million. So it's a bit cost prohibitive as far as demographic and who can afford to live there. But again, you can choice into it if you can get into the schools, because a lot of people want to do that because of the high-end academics. All the schools are in close proximity, right in the district. It's a gorgeous area on the southwest side of the Springs, right just down from and next to Manitou Springs, which is a cute little community as well. The location is outstanding. So you have super luxury, older homes, well-established neighborhoods with tall trees and winding roads. The ambiance of the neighborhoods in the Broadmoor are legendary as far as Colorado Springs. They're well-known, they're long-term, and there's a lot of old money in Colorado Springs down in the Broadmoor area. 100-year-old homes to mansions hidden in the trees, lots of kind of funky properties, and lots of custom homes and custom large mansions actually down in the area. So it's a neat area. Cheyenne Canyon is located in the area with lots of hiking, biking, and wildlife. Helen Hunt Falls is right up the canyon. There's some really neat hikes and outdoor opportunities there. And Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is fabulous. It is a blast. It's a really unique zoo, kind of on a hillside, so you got to climb up and down the hills a bit to view the zoo, but there's some really neat exhibits there. And my favorite exhibit, almost everybody's favorite exhibit that I know of that visited Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, is their giraffe exhibit. So you're on a boardwalk, an elevated boardwalk at the head level with giraffes. And you can feed them and pet them and touch them. Their heads and faces are huge. They're right in your face. It's a really cool experience. So a little plug there for Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. So that's the overview for the 3 school districts on the south side of Colorado Springs, stretching into the high end of the Broadmoor, all the way toward the east. A little more affordable homes and newer neighborhoods, kind of tract neighborhoods there. So hopefully it's been helpful for you to have a little contrast. We don't cover every nuance and every detail, of course, but we're just doing kind of a high-level comparison between districts so you can help decide what is right for you, what are right for the needs of your children and the needs of your family. I'm grateful to connect with you. I'm thankful for your time. Thanks for engaging with me. Please shoot me a text, call, or email after the video and give me more suggestions for what type of videos you'd like to see, more detail and more specifics in certain areas where you'd like to see videos that would provide value to you. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I talk fast when I get excited, so I don't want to drone on forever. So I kind of talk fast. Thanks for putting up with me here. And I'm excited to hear from you. Look forward to being a future resource. Let me know what else I can do for you as far as videos and content. Talk to you soon.